Hey, good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Lewis, your favorite coach. This evening, we're tapping into limiting beliefs and why people remain stuck where they are. First thing we got to do is identify those limiting beliefs so that way we can start to undo those beliefs and where the source of those beliefs came from, right? Our conditioning, our programming throughout our lives, throughout our childhood, during those child rearing ages, during schooling, during when we had our first relationship, when we were getting read bedtime stories, sometimes we actually gravitate towards things that reinforce our limiting beliefs. For example, when we watch the news, the music we listen to, media we consume, the types of books we read. So we have to be mindful of what activities we're actively engaging in that's going to reinforce our limiting beliefs. Some of you, just for clarity, limiting beliefs also known as blockages of your subconscious mind, also known as things that hold you down, burdens, barriers, excuses, right? The word can't. Can't is a limiting belief. Impossible. The word impossible cultivates a limiting belief, right? Think about when someone asks you to do something and you start with all the reasons why you can't do that. Well, it's going to rain outside. Well, I don't have an outfit to wear. I don't have anyone to watch my kids. All those things that really contribute to the overarching limiting beliefs that we form, develop, cultivate, and continue feeding throughout our lives. And then we get to a place where we say, I really wish I could do this, but I can't. I really wish I could do this. This is my passion, but I know I can't make money there. Again, all limiting beliefs. I wish I could travel, but I can't. I wish I could go somewhere, but I can't. I wish I could visit people. All the things that we are capable of doing, but we've been so conditioned to gravitate towards why we can't do them. In fact, all we need is one reason why we can do them. Another word for limiting beliefs or is resistance. We create resistance that helps keeps us where we are, and we try to justify it based on our limiting beliefs, right? One thing that I see a lot of people do is they'll watch the news and they'll use some breaking story as a reason not to do something. Well, I saw on the news they said that you shouldn't eat corn. I saw on the news they say you shouldn't eat lettuce. And that's only a snippet, right? On that news clip, they didn't say you can't grow your own lettuce. You shouldn't do a aeroponics garden and cultivate your own lettuce. They didn't say all that, but we land on a well, they say you can't eat lettuce. I guess I'm done. Can't have salad, can't eat healthy no more. So we just got to be mindful of our limiting beliefs and how we're doing things that reinforce them. Here's a question I get asked all the time. What's the fastest way of getting rid of limiting beliefs? First thing we have to do is identify them. We have to identify our limiting beliefs. What are some things that we say when someone invites us somewhere? What are some things we say when someone says, hey, you could do X, Y, Z? It might be something like, well, you could go to college. Nah, nobody in my family has ever went to college before. Well, you should write a book. Nah, nobody's gonna read my book. I don't have an Amazon account. I'm not really a good writer, especially in the age of technology with Chat GPT, with the text to speech features and all this great stuff, all these great resources, right? If we hang on to our limiting beliefs, they'll continue to emerge and take over how we navigate. Again, that resistance. When we're focused on the things that we truly want to do, and we are very specific, because that's another issue, right? So, going back to the question about what's the quickest way of getting rid of limiting beliefs, identifying what they are, but also equally important, having some big goals with specificity. When I ask people to set a big goal with specificity, the first thing they do is they set something either very broad and general without specificity or something very safe and doable. It might be like, well, I'm going to go for a walk and get 15 steps in. And that's like, okay, that's you're going to get up from where you are, walk to the bathroom and back. That's your 15 steps. Like, we got to stop playing it safe. Our limiting beliefs, like insecurities. So it's a great question because I believe that insecurities actually fuel limiting beliefs. Like insecurities grow your limiting beliefs. Give me an example of an insecurity. That way we can drill this down a little bit further. What's an example of an insecurity? And I'll tell you to think of it when you have it, put it in the comments. But I'll be vulnerable for a minute. So here's a limiting belief I had when I was overweight. I was 283 pounds back in my day, right? Believe that or not. And I had long hair. So give you a nice visual. Big, long hair, all that. And I remember going to the movies with my wife, girlfriend at the time, and my insecurity was if I got up during a movie, everyone would look at me because there's the big fat guy, right? And I was just very insecure. I didn't want to go get the popcorn. If I had to use the bathroom, I didn't want to go do it. So I started to address that insecurity. I identified it. Yeah, I'm overweight, not happy with how I look. For some reason, I think everyone's looking at me, all eyes on me. And I said, you know what? Here's what I got to do. I just got to hit this head on. But my limiting belief became if I go get the popcorn, the movie's already going, I'm going to come back and I'm going to trip up the stairs and spill the popcorn anywhere or everywhere. That's also a what if scenario. So, what I would ask people that are facing these what if scenarios, stop thinking about what may happen and think about the moment you're in right now. You could be grateful for the moment you're in right now. And when I started applying that mindset, it was like, I'm so grateful. Look at my girlfriend, man. I got the hottest girl in this movie theater right now. Yeah, I know y'all looking for that, right? So just wanted to tap into that a little bit. You know, we have to identify our insecurities and then we have to realize that they're fueling our limiting beliefs. Here's another hot question. How do you learn to coexist with stepchildren you resent? So here's what you have to do. That resentment, that's a hard one, right? When we live in resentment, it has such a low level of consciousness, such a low level of energy. And it sounds like you may be hurt to be blessed. Sounds like someone has hurt you. One of these, stepchildren have hurt you, have even threatened your relationship, have made it very clear they're not feeling you, you're not welcome. And what you have to do is get to a place where you have unconditional love for these children because unconditional love is going to allow all of us, not even just you and your stepchildren, but all of us as a society to coexist. And that's what's lacking. And if you don't believe me, pay attention the next time you're driving down the highway and you see everyone in a rush. No one wants to let the next car get over. All these things, this hustle and bustle life that we have that lacks patience and unconditional love for other people. One thing I do right now myself is when I'm driving and a car wants to get in front of me, I immediately go to the word patience. And I ask myself, am I being patient? Because if I'm being patient, it's not going to bother me to let a car in front of me. But back to this situation to be blessed about you and stepchildren that you resent. The fact that you resent them is already a problem. It's a huge problem. And the question we have to ask is why? Why is there some resentment? Okay, there are adults who still live at home. It's so depressing. Dad is an enabler. So you don't agree with dad's decisions. And instead of letting those decisions flow to you and through you, you're actually attaching some emotion to a decision that you're not even making. Because here's what you could do, especially if you got to coexist with dad. Dad, I acknowledge your decision. It's not my decision. I don't agree with the decision. I want to make that clear. But I'm here with you. I'm rocking with you. And what you're doing is you're resisting dad's decision. And it sounds like this is this toxic cycle of, well, y'all grown, why y'all live here? And well, I don't like you either, and this and that, and a little back and forth that's not productive for anyone. Here's the key to it all. We can stop this resentment, this negative thinking, as soon as we acknowledge that we no longer want to feel pain. Because I'm going to tell you right now, you are feeling pain if you're resenting someone. You're feeling pain. The fact that you said it's so depressing, you're feeling pain over something that you can't control. Stop fighting this battle. Stop resisting. Let what's happening happen. Let what's happening happen. You are married to dad, I'm assuming here, and you are committed to each other. You didn't commit to dad's kids or your stepchildren. Fall back. Let dad make the decision. Make sure dad knows where you stand and ride with dad because that's who you committed to. Stop resisting. You got to stop creating resistance over a choice that your husband has made. And when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. That's Wayne Dwyer, right? So you really have to look at this through a different lens. Right now, you're looking at it through this negative lens. And when you look at it through a negative lens, all you're going to see is more negativity. And I always tell people negativity plus negativity equals what? More negativity. It equals more negativity. This is absolute value. This isn't math. This isn't if you take a negative and a positive. Negativity plus negativity is negativity. So I just want to circle back to the topic of limiting beliefs for a minute. We've been so conditioned throughout our lives, and we form this filter, this lens that we view things through. And some of the things that have been toxic, we've normalized. Like feeling resentment towards someone else, that's toxic. It's not going to help you. And if it is going to help you, it's not going to help you in a positive way. And whatever you achieve while basking in that feeling of resentment, it's going to be so short lived. If you got a promotion at your job and you're resentful to other people in the company, that promotion is going to be so short lived. You better start looking for another job like right now, you know? And think about it like this as far as the limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs remind us of the comfort we have in not doing what we want to do. So some of us will say things like, well, I wanted to open my own business, but ain't nobody gonna give me a loan. Did you get an LLC? Did you get an EIN? Did you apply for a business checking and savings? Did you apply for business funding? Because before we've done all those things, our limiting beliefs are keeping us where we at, right? Even things like sobriety. Sometimes we have limiting beliefs on things like overcoming addiction. We'll say, well, I can't stop without even trying, right? Without even saying, I'm going to take a step. I may not stop today, but I'm not drinking a six pack. I'll drink 5 beers, not six. And what we really have to do is get into this place of reflection because reflection allows us to take a deep look inward. There's two ways we could do the reflection. Talk to yourself, have some self talk, look yourself in the mirror and have some self talk. Practice this for a moment. I want you to look away from, I'm live, so I got to look at the camera, but I want you to say, you are the problem. And then I want, like, as if you're talking to someone else, and I want you to say the same words now with looking in the mirror. If you can't look in the mirror, that's fine. Take your camera phone or whatever, and you flip the screen, and then you say, you are the problem as you're talking to yourself. It hits a little different because it requires you to be accountable. It requires you to say, okay, so let me think about this a little bit. If I'm the problem, what are some actions that I'm doing that's contributing to the problem versus contributing to the solution? Here's another thing I tell people often, especially people that come to me with problems. I'll say, do this next time. Come to me with the problem and one or two potential solutions. So that way you become part of the solution, not part of the problem. And they're like, oh, it puts people on notice. And The more we can reflect, the more we can look at ourselves, the more people don't have to put us on notice. We put ourselves on notice. We say, listen, you're not living up to your potential. Listen, you want to be a boss. This intoxicant, it's not going to help you be a boss. It might make you feel like it's helping you, but trust me, it's not helping you be a boss. This beverage that you're about to drink and become someone else is not helping you be a boss. It's helping you be complacent. It's helping you put your work on pause, put the mission on pause so you can feel good until it wears off. That's what reflection does. The other way, I said, there's a few ways. The other way you can do your reflection, get a journal. Get a journal. Start reflecting on things that you're grateful for. Some of you are like, I'm not grateful for nothing. Well, you're on a device right now, and I don't care if it's an iPhone 7. You are on a device. Be grateful that you get to tune into some content from a device. Because when we're grateful for the things that we have, gratitude is like the key to getting everything to happen for us and happen to us, right? So get you a journal, start writing about some things you're grateful for. Create a vision of yourself, your future self, 5 years from now. What are you doing? And we struggle with this. My background is in early childhood education, elementary education. And I noticed that between elementary school versus middle and high school and college, I coached college football back in my day. I noticed that our imagination fades. When we're in elementary school, we have these grand ideas. Oh, I'm going to take these popsicle sticks. I'm going to make the propeller for the helicopter, and it's going to spin and accelerate when I do X, Y, Z. Then we get to like middle school, we start looking like that idea wouldn't work. I wouldn't even try that. Like we start, exercising those limiting beliefs. Elementary, we're young. Like think about those of you that got little kids running around the house. They will tell you some stuff like, I'm about to take this right here and I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna tie it around this chair and I'm gonna pull the chair. And then you find out what they're talking about. They're talking about your dental floss. And you're like, oh gosh, you got my dental floss, really? But that's the imagination. So when I tell people, picture that 5 year vision of yourself thriving, not just surviving, not just getting by, not playing it safe, like big goals. You want that new house, that new car, that new salary 5 years from now? What does that look like? Just start seeing yourself there. Put it in your journal. I am so happy and so grateful now that I am the owner of my business. Another place you could use that journal is when you need to get away. But here's what I would say about journaling in that regard, especially when you have some things that you need to release. Put it out there. Here's how you release it. You write it down. Um, I'm gonna do it in real time for you all. I'm gonna just give an example. I got a post-it note. I got my tools with me. I forgive you for crashing the car and not being honest. So I got my note. Here's how you release it. You can either tear this, toss it. My preferred way is to burn it, but here's the thing. I don't want you all saying Dr. Lewis made me burn my house down because he told me to burn it to release it, but burn it. Here's another way you could do it, but I think that you have to be more experienced. So you have to have done some of this releasing work prior. Is come to agreement with that person that wronged you, that person you have resentment to, and agree to release this situation and forgive them, forgive yourself for hanging on to it, and agree to never bring it up ever again. That's how you release. That's why you got to burn it. When you burn it, that means you're not revisiting it. It's gone. And it's not about forgetting it. It happened. It's about envisioning a positive outcome now. You already experienced that negative outcome. This is why We hold on to resentment because the thing that caused us to experience that negative outcome created such a strong emotional feeling within us. It's like it branded into our memory in the form of an engram. Just like when we have positive memories, your wedding day, someone else's wedding day, like those positive memories get impressed upon your memory in a way that they just stay there. So that's why I said the first thing we have to do is identify our limiting beliefs. I'm going to talk briefly about goal setting. Some of you have never set a true big goal. And some of you are like, I set a big goal. I was going to fill my gas tank. Some of you haven't set true big goals. Here's what you do: you set a doable goal and you achieve that goal. And then you're like, look, I'm accomplishing goals. You're just playing it safe. You're protecting your ego because your ego is protecting you and you're protecting your ego. Your ego's job is to protect you. So when you play it safe, your ego is like, yeah, I got you. Yep. Keep you safe, keep you protected. Absolutely not. Do not. You all need, I'm telling you, set some big goals. It's not about setting obtainable goals. The research shows that you should be setting impossible goals. You should be setting impossible goals and taking the proper steps to accumulate that action plan and work towards the intended outcome. Here's what people tend to do though: they play it safe and they set obtainable goals. Like, oh, at the end of the month, I'm a, I'm gonna invest. I'm gonna buy 2 shares of Tesla. Okay, if you have a six-figure salary, you shouldn't have to wait to the end of the month to buy 2 shares of Tesla that are like $163 each. You're just trying to play it safe. You just got your income tax back. Why don't you take that 3 grand, go all in on Tesla? That's a big goal. That's the unknown. That's the, I don't know how crazy Elon Musk is going to be next. I don't know where this stock's going to go, but I'm all in. And that's what I'm talking about when I say big goals. I'm talking like goals so big that if I asked you how would you achieve it, you would say, I don't know, because it's that big. And the thing is, it's not worrying about the how, it's worried about setting that goal. Set that big goal and become hyper focused on that big goal and start seeing yourself having accomplished that goal. And we'll work backwards. When I'm coaching clients, we do this pyramid where we look at the end result, like what's the ultimate outcome? And then we look at limiting beliefs and the conditions that we need to start establishing, what we need to undo with limiting beliefs, and how we need to bring some faith into it so that way we can start moving towards this goal. And that goal becomes your North Star. You will literally start operating as, okay, if my goal is to be a CEO, if I go to this party right now, everyone's drinking, I drink and jump in my car, is that moving me towards CEO or is it moving me towards DUI? Like we gotta look at it from that perspective, but you gotta set that big goal. If my big goal is dream home, but every Friday I'm going to go buy that big bottle of Patron, and I could be putting that money into an investment account so it grows when it's time for the down payment. I could be paying down some debt, like that's the extra credit card payment, whatever it is. We're going to start operating from a sense of, are my actions moving me towards or away from my big goal? Again, that goal is going to be your compass, but you can't get there when you're setting these small goals. Nobody's living a dream life setting these small goals. Nobody's working the job they truly want, the career, the profession that they're passionate about, setting these tiny little goals. Those are big goals. That's what I teach. That's what I coach. And the links in my bio for my goal setting masterclass. And I'll put the caveat out there: only want to work with serious people. If you're on the fence, that is absolutely fine. That's okay. We shouldn't be working together. But if you're serious about this work, I got you. Reach out. Let's make it happen. Right? Let's move towards retirement. Let's come up with that number. Right? Let's come up with what's your skill set, your specialized knowledge. How can we market that? Let's come up with that vision. Right? I always tell people this: if you have a vision for being a boss, start putting that vision into action. Start being a boss today. Don't wait for the positional power because you won't be ready for it. Stop waiting for someone to say, "We want you to be the boss of our company," to start acting like a boss. Start being a leader. Start being a boss right now. Start thinking about, if I was a boss, who would be in my circle? What issues would I be concerned with? What things that I consume currently that I would not consume as a boss? What subscriptions, what professional organizations do I need to gain access to a membership to as a boss that I don't currently have, that I can have? What books do I need to read? If I want to be a web designer, if I want to do coding, what are some coding languages that I need to learn? Java, right? C plus, and start using that big goal as your North Star that's going to guide your action steps. Mhm. What things am I doing right now that's not moving me towards my goal? If you got that Netflix subscription, I get it. You want to be entertained. I've been got rid of Netflix. I've been got rid of DirecTV because yes, it provides entertainment, but it wasn't moving me towards any of my goals. So you have to have that big goal. What's your big goal? I'm going to challenge you all right now. Come up with one big goal that seems impossible, but you'd be really interested in pursuing. Give you all some time to do that. There you go. And the first step is coming up with that goal. And once you come up with that goal, and James, thank you for being vulnerable. Once you come up with that goal, and I'm going to use the example of sobriety, the business, there we go. You have to visualize yourself in that state, having accomplished that goal, right? And I don't want to put anyone on the spot, so I'll use this example. Years ago, I was coaching an aspiring rapper, and we did this exercise. I said, okay, so you finally made it 5 years out. What does that look like? What does that feel like? Give me an example of a big purchase you're going to go make. They said, I want to go get a nice chain with a pendant on it. I said, okay, describe it. It has my mom's picture in it. Mom had passed away, so God rest, his mom's soul. Described the pendant and everything, the details, and I said, okay, so who's with you? You're going to get this chain, this pendant. Who's with you and where you going? Jewelry Unlimited, all my brothers. What are y'all driving? Oh, we're driving a Range Rover. Like, when we can start visualizing what that looks like and feels like and get specific with it, and it's our North Star, it's really going to guide our actions. So bring this back to the context of our conversation. Yes, some of us are in a place where we've procrastinated for so long. And once we recognize that we're procrastinating, now we just got to make a decision. Okay, I want this to happen. I'm making a decision right now to take action. Here's what I'm going to do. And we don't have to do a 10 bullet point list. We got to do something. Here's what I'm going to do. So if it's business, here's what I'm going to do as far as moving towards a business. I'm going to reach out to 5 people I met online. and I'm going to see if my business has some potential interest. Just want to see, am I thinking about this the right way? Is this profitable, right? If it's sobriety, as someone mentioned, if it's sobriety, here's one action step I'm going to do or take. I'm not purchasing any alcoholic beverages. So notice I didn't say I've quit. I'm not drinking anymore. I said, so if I'm out and you buy me a drink, cool. I set a goal. I set a step towards my big goal of sobriety. I'm not purchasing it anymore. So me not buying it myself is going to naturally reduce the amount that I drink. Am I still a drinker? Yes, we'll get there. But right now, I'm not funding that habit anymore. That's a conscious decision. Here's what I want to do with that money instead. I'm going to just put it into a Robinhood account. It might be $15 at a time, $100, whatever it is, but I'm not funding that habit anymore. And if you're thinking business, then I would say, okay, so I'm going to grab a book that's on Amazon. It's a must read, like it has high ratings. It's a bestseller about business. That's what I'm grabbing. That's my first step. And here's the thing, a lot of people think when we grab these books, when we consume content, we're doing the work. No, that's not doing the work. Going through that book multiple times, underlining, highlighting, writing notes, marking that book up, cracking the binding, that's doing the work. And each chapter, there should be at least one action step that you're going to commit to. So it's not about speed reading, it's about getting a wealth of knowledge so you can start implementing some of these steps that the experts, that the gurus are suggesting for your business, for your approach. Noah Kagan is someone great to tap into. Noah Kagan had this activity where he teaches people to ask for 10% off, like at a coffee shop. And the idea is so you get rejected and you see how it feels. And it's interesting because when I heard that idea, I was like, let me try this out. And I went to get some dog food and I asked for the 10% discount. And they were like, we don't really offer the 10% discount. And I hit them with the smile. And they were like, okay. And they scanned their card and gave me a 10% discount. And I told my family about it. I told my daughter, and she was like, what? That worked? I was like, yeah, it was Noah Kagan's exercise. Try it. And shortly after she texted me, oh my gosh, I got a free bag today just because I was at the store and I asked them if I can get that bag for free. And I'm like, look at this. Look at this. When we remove our limiting beliefs of why things can't work, we start seeing some things work. When we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. That's it right there, simply stated. And what starts to happen is all these synchronicities start happening. All the content you've heard, the messages you've heard, you've read, they start to resonate with you. And you start to realize, oh, wow, that's what Dr. Lewis said. That's what this author said. That's what they were saying in this live. Like it all comes together, and you're like, these are golden nuggets. But that's the problem. It's like we wait for things to be proven before we have faith. Like you can't say, if you wanted fire, you can't say, give me the fire, and then I'll put wood in the fire after the fire is already started. No, you need the wood first, and you need to have faith that the wood's going to ignite and give you the fire. That's what you have to do with these goals. You need to have big goals and have faith. Have faith because some of you don't get faith. Some of you would say, well, I lost my faith. Faith is not something that falls out of your pocket and you pull out a flashlight and start looking for it. Faith is unwavering. You can't lose faith. And if you lost faith, then I would tell you, you never had faith. So, just recapping, we talked a lot about limiting beliefs, tapped into setting goals. And the one thing I just want to highlight with setting goals is it's not just about setting goals, it's also about setting them at the right time. You want to do this work when your subconscious mind is most impressionable, right before you go to sleep, first thing when you wake up. I set my alarm clock at 4:30. I'll tell you right now, my best mornings are when I wake up before that alarm clock goes off and I start doing my work. First thing I do is I thank the Lord for a gift of another day because everything that went wrong the day prior, I got another day to fix this. I got another day to try it all over again. I got another day to enjoy the company of my family and friends, loved ones, my TikTok family, right? My social media family, people that are in my coaching course, people that I coach, my masterclass courses, like all that stuff. I get another shot at this again. So I'm grateful. And when we can start our day in gratitude and continue to revisit that feeling of gratitude, it keeps us in a higher vibration, a higher energy state. And when we are in a higher energy state, that's when things just flow to us. That's when things just happen. That's when doors just open and we're like, damn, wasn't even expecting this. Wow. Wow. So I encourage you all, practice gratitude, practice it early. Here's another thing I encourage you all to do. Stop waiting until someone tells you to celebrate. What do I mean by that? Stop waiting for that special calendar date, that special holiday, your birthday. Just wake up and celebrate. Wake up and celebrate because you got the gift to do it all over again. You need to be told, well, you got to celebrate. Your birthday is coming up. Just wake up and celebrate. Celebrate you. Celebrate you. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some love. Absolutely. I'm giving you all the secret sauce tonight. Gratitude, big goals, faith, unwavering faith. All right, I'm gonna wind this down here shortly, but I'm truly grateful for this opportunity to have this dialogue with you all, to share this insight, to provide some recommendations, to help you live the life that you truly want to live. And some of you might ask, or some of you might question, what does that look like? The life that I truly want to live. That's the big goal. That's the work that you have to do. You got to sit back for a moment, quiet your mind, and say, what do I really want to do? We talked a lot about conditioning and programming. Some of us do what other people tell us we're good at. Some of us do what other people want us to do. And then we get some years invested in that and we sit back and we reflect and we say, I'm not living in my purpose. I'm not doing what I'm really passionate about. And then we start trying to justify, we'll say, well, there's no money in that. So I guess it's okay. But like I talked about in previous content, the Bible says in all labor, there is profit. In all labor, there is profit. And profit is financial gain or an advantage. So believe that when you do the work, there's profit. Sometimes we're in an experience just to gain experience. I was talking with someone recently and I was saying, listen, when you are in any profession, even if you don't plan on being there long, you're there just for a season, observe everything. Start to learn the inner workings of that organization so you can acquire a skill set. So you can start learning the things to do and the things not to do. And someone gave me the whole, well, it's really hard when, the bosses and CEOs are making all this money and, you're struggling to make ends meet and you're working for them. So at what point are we going to realize we're choosing our outcome? People get stuck in their comfort zone. You're comfortable and they're comfortable. They're comfortable making all the money and this and that, and you're comfortable working under them. What's the thing that's holding you back from starting your own business, your own company? Not even what's the thing. Who's the person from holding you back from truly doing what you're passionate about doing. And don't start blaming people. Who's the person holding you back? Wow. Wow. I am. I am. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Now, when we claim that, when we own it, now we got some power. That's power. When you reclaim that power, now we got something to work with. That's inspiration. That's lighting your own fire. This isn't about blaming somebody. Well, they keep holding me back. Well, they got a bigger house than me, and okay, they got up and got to it. Get up and get to it. And if you need some help, get a coach. Get some people in your network. Look at your circle. Who's in your circle? Are you in a circle of other people, other like-minded people who are holding themselves back as well? And that one might hurt a little bit because you might say, I mean, I don't listen to rap anymore, but back in the day when I listened to Tupac, he even said, "Look how I sanitized my posse." He was basically saying, and he was talking directly to Dr. Lewis. He was like, look, Doc, look how I changed up my circle." Hmm. And he was young. His demise was at 25. So if we can get to that place where we start owning it, we're holding ourselves back. We're the reason that these people are around us, these negative people, these toxic people, these comfortable people. And not that they're bad people. I never said that because I'm careful with it. We just got to be mindful. And it's not that they're bad because I was coaching someone on this a week ago and they said, "So you want me to start acting like I'm better than everyone?" I said, "No. I want you to have some standards and expectations for yourself. And I want you to start using those expectations, those non-negotiables as a North Star. Well, hanging out with these people help me move to where I want to move." Gotta have faith. Gotta have faith. And I work with a variety of people. I was talking with someone a few days ago, and I was telling them how amazing they were based on their journey, based on their growth. And they gave me the whole, well, sometimes I don't think that. And I said to them, I get it. I noticed. I've been with you long enough. And I said, but here's what you got to understand. I could tell you how great and amazing you are all I want. It really doesn't matter. You have to own that and internalize your greatness. You have to view it. And here's what we do: we put our greatness, our happiness on external things that break, that get stolen, that get lost, that lose value, that depreciates. And when we put all of our greatness and our happiness on these external things that come and go, when they're with us, we're smiling. When we don't have them, it's a source of our pain. Mhm. Your attitude determines your altitude. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the reason we tapped into limiting beliefs this evening is simply because the conditioning that a lot of us have been exposed to cause us to have a negative attitude, a negative outlook, a negative self concept. And we don't even know why. We're like, huh? Why? And then, as I mentioned, we start tuning into things that reinforce it. So some of the shows that we watch may have a character that looks like us, talks like us, speaks our language, and we identify with that character like, yep, reminds me of someone. And it reinforces our current state. It reinforces our current state. And then we do this. I want more of that. So now what do? We start recording that series. We start setting a reminder. We set the notification for when that toxic reinforcement comes on. We're tuned in. We're locked in. And we tell our family, we put our phone on do not disturb. I got to see this. That's me. I got to see this. It's like me. It resembles me. When we could do the opposite, I got to see this because the greatness that this person is exuding reminds me of where I want to go and be at in 5 years. That's work. That's work. And you all are more than capable. You just have to be willing and able. Willing and able. And I could tell you this every single day, but until you internalize and believe it, I'm just talking. That's why when I coach, I say I'm only working with serious people. Only working with serious people. I'm not working with people I have to convince. I'm working with people that are convinced and they just need some guidance. They just need that structure, those tools. Gotcha. Mhm. And for those of you on the fence, this is like I do the live for it. I got you. I'm giving you the live, giving you the content. There's something for everyone. Yep. But I've been with you all for quite some time. It's truly a blessing to be able to hold your attention, to engage with you all. I'm more than grateful. I am more than grateful. The best gift that you can give anyone is your gift of time. I encourage you, continue giving the gift of time to positivity in and around your life. And the more you do that, the more you open your arms and then welcome and invite positivity into your life. And be grateful. I promise you, it will change you. I promise you. You will go from dreading doing certain things that will help you to looking forward to them, right? Like you will go from dreading running 8 miles to looking forward to waking up at 4:30 to do the next eight. Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, listen, wishing you all a great evening and continued success on your journey of personal growth and development. What's so remarkable about personal growth and development is it's not a one and done. It's not a check off a box. It's a continual journey that you shouldn't walk alone. And if you're on my team, I got you. All right. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Take care.